So many questions about quilt binding, so let's talk about it. I showed y'all how to miter the corners, and you want to see the other side. I started with a 3-inch strip of fabric. I used the same fabric for my binding that I used for the back of my quilt all of the time. After it's quilted, this is the leftover fabric that I cut into the binding. 3-inch strip, sew it together end to end, end to end, and then I iron it in half. I start my binding on one of the sides, not in a corner because it doesn't close up well. I go all the way around my quilt, and when I get to where it meets, I fold one end under, slide the other end into it, lay it down, and sew over it. I always start my binding on the front of my quilt so that when I fold it over, all of the binding is on the back of my quilt because I've spent too much time on the front of my quilt to cover any of it up. I fold the binding completely over, take my finger, push out the corners, and I sew all the way around. On the first side, which in my case would always be the front of the quilt, when I'm sewing the binding, I sew a 1/4-inch seam. And when I fold the binding over, I sew as close to the edge as I can get, whatever you're comfortable with. The way that I do my binding, you don't even see it. It blends in with the back of the quilt, and the stitches that do show up on the front of the quilt blend in because you have all of the quilting and all of the stitching that you've already made making the quilt, so you don't see that either. When you get to the corner, just fold your binding up so that it folds completely over, turn, and go down the next side. I do not sew the diagonal where the mitered corner meets because you're sewing on both sides, so it has plenty of strength. Do not come for me. Do not get in my comments yelling at me about how I do my binding. Let's be clear. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm only showing you how I do it. If you want to do it differently, that's exactly how I want you to do it. It is bizarre to me how controversial quilt binding is. And just in case your grandma didn't tell you, if you don't like something, you don't have to say I don't like that. Just do yours differently. There's not one right way to do binding. This is the way that I was taught, and so it's how I do it. And this is what it looks like from the front.